The 2021 AL MVP race. In this year's AL MVP race, it's been pretty clear who the two frontrunners are. And they're both pretty similar. They're both pretty popular players. They're both entering their third season. And they've both been deemed pretty overhyped before the start of the season. I believe these two players were not at all expected to be where they are. And I don't think anyone really predicted the two frontrunners for this year's MVP race. And it's Shohei Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So there's three things I believe that go into an MVP voting. One is the only thing I believe that should matter, but it's not the only thing that matters. And two are things that I shouldn't think matter, but I know they matter. The first one is stats. Stats is the biggest thing that goes into an MVP race, and this is the one thing I think should matter. The second one is team standings and how good the team is. I don't think this should matter at all, and I believe it has mattered a lot in the MVP races. I believe it's a reason that Trout has been robbed of a few MVPs. The third one is popularity. I think this sometimes has to do with the MVP race, and same with team standings. I don't think this should matter, but we're going to cover all three just because this is what I believe that the voters will be looking at, whether or not I agree with all three or not. So first of all, we're going to go into stats. This is the biggest thing that should matter. This is the biggest thing that does matter. And we're going to spend the majority of the video going over stats because that's what matters. So Shohei Ohtani's hitting stats. Batting average 257, on base 372, slugging 592, OPS 965, home runs 46. And the reason this is in red is because we're comparing him to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And actually all these stats, including WAR of 4.9, they're all under Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has a batting average of 311, on base of 401, slugging of 601, OPS 1002, and 48 home runs. On base, slugging, OPS, home runs, all league leading. WAR 6.6. If we were just counting this, unanimous decision, everyone votes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. MVP race, MVP's his. But then there's pitching. Shohei Ohtani has a win-loss of 9 wins and 2 losses, 3.18 ERA, 1.090 WHIP, and 10.8 strikeouts through 9 innings. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s pitching stats is 0.0 WAR, 0 wins, 0 losses, 0 ERA, 0 WHIP, 0 strikeouts through 9 innings. Sorry, Vladdy. I don't know what you're doing this season. I don't know why you weren't pitching. I don't know how you didn't realize that there's another guy that's doing a hell of a lot more than you. So it's somewhat hard to judge pitching and hitting. This is a different story. If Shohei Ohtani had anywhere like an under average pitching season, then it would be Vladdy's MVP, of course. But Shohei Ohtani was probably one of the best pitchers this season. Top 20, top 30. He was definitely up there. This leaves him at a WAR of 9. And a WAR of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is 6.8. So the pitching pretty much makes Shohei Ohtani overwhelming Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2.2 higher WAR. He influenced the team basically to win 2.2 more games. So the one thing that I think would have given Vladdy a chance when you compare their stats is if he would have gotten Triple Crown. He just missed on average. He got RBIs, he got the home runs, but he missed leading league in average. He was close, but he missed. I think this would have made it more of a debate in MVP as a whole, because the last time someone won Triple Crown was Miggy in 2012, and he won MVP. I think Trout was robbed a little bit, but Triple Crown is a big deal, and if Miguel Cabrera didn't get Triple Crown, he most likely wouldn't have gotten MVP. So stats, we're going to give it to Shohei Ohtani, and it's not really a discussion. Team standings. So the past 5 years, 7 out of 10 MVPs have been in playoff teams. 3 of those 10 have been in World Series winners. I believe, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I think this is one of the reasons why Trout has been robbed of 1, maybe 2 MVP awards. I don't think this should matter. I don't think it should matter at all. Maybe I'm too much of a stats person, but I just don't think it's fair. Players don't control how good their teammates are. To me, it should absolutely have nothing to do with the MVP race. The skill of your teammates should have nothing to do with most valuable player. It's called most valuable player award for a reason. In this case, it's not really going to influence it much. Maybe the Blue Jays, since they were in the race, but I think genuinely it's not going to do much because both teams didn't make the playoffs. So I'm going to give it on that one. Nobody has the upper hand. The third thing I think they put into consideration a little bit is popularity, which this is unfortunate because I definitely don't think popularity should be in it, but I do think it isn't in it a little bit, like a sprinkle. Shohei Ohtani is clearly the more popular guy. They're both pretty popular players, but Shohei Ohtani, in the country of Japan, he's been Japan's most famous athlete this year by far. And I would say more than 90% of the fans going to Angel games this season were just going for Ohtani, which is kind of crazy to think about because we have the best player in baseball, which is Mike Trout, and more fans are coming to see Ohtani. Ohtani is the more popular guy. So I would give Ohtani 2 out of the 3 things here. And stats, I believe 89, maybe 70-80%, and then maybe like 20% team standings, and then 10% popularity, somewhere around there. Shohei Ohtani has 2 out of 3 things, including the most important thing, stats. And then in terms of team standings, it's kind of even, it's kind of split. They both didn't make the playoffs. So I give Shohei Ohtani 2 out of the 3 things, including the most important thing. I give Vladdy 0 out of the 3 things. And stats is the big thing. Stats is the big message here. And I don't know if I already said this or not, but 4 out of the past 5 seasons, the WAR leader won MVP award. With the exception of last year, which last year was weird. It was a short year. The MVP was just a toss-up. But 4 out of 4 of the last full MLB seasons, the WAR wins above replacement leader won the MVP. I should have said this at the beginning of the video for you guys. For those of you that don't know what WAR is, it's how many more wins a player influences a team to get. So Ohtani has a 9 WAR. So they're kind of saying if you kicked him off the team and replaced him with an average player in his position, they would have 9 less wins. So out of the 4 last full seasons, the WAR leaders won MVP. And this season, Ohtani is the WAR leader by more than a game. The last time a guy was a WAR leader by more than a game, I believe, was 2016, Mike Trout, I believe. And Trout won the MVP. So all this combined makes it pretty unanimous, pretty clear that Shohei Ohtani will win the MVP. And if you guys don't agree, go ahead and leave a comment. If you're a Blue Jays fan, I feel like Blue Jay fans, no offense, they're going to be the only people saying that Vladdy has a chance. But if anyone thinks Vladdy has a chance, I want to hear your comments down below. And I want discussion because this is a unique year. We've never had a guy that can hit and pitch in the same season. So there could be arguments on the other side. But I feel like it's pretty clear that he will win MVP award. That's why I'm going to confidently title this video, Why Shohei Ohtani Will Win MVP Award. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, peace out.